Yeah. Hi everyone. Good evening everyone. Good evening. Once again. Yes. Yeah. Good evening everyone. Good evening. Let me Namaste Sivraj. Good evening. One second. Let me share my screen. Then we'll start the class. Okay. So I'm clear. I hope I'm clearly audible to everyone, and my screen is clearly visible to all of you. Okay. And I'm assuming that all of you are like good only, isn't it? How are you all? Tell me in the chat box. How are you all? Yes, 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 yes. How are you all? Moksha, Rachita. Yeah. Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Yes. Huh. I'm also good. I'm also good. But good evening, Gita. But I don't think what is good in this evening. What is good in this evening, Gita? Tell me. I'm also good, Sachin. Yeah. What is good in this evening? Good evening, बोल रहे हैं सब कोई. What is good in this evening? Good evening, Neha. Good evening, Sachin. Good evening, everyone. Yes, everything is good. Lana अच्छा है. अच्छा ठीक है चलो. So everything is good. Few people are saying class है इसीलिए अच्छा है. चलो सही है देख लेते हैं. Got it. Anyway, we can start the class now. Before that, let me launch the technical poll. If you can hear me properly and if my screen is visible to you, just let me know in the chat box. Let me know in the chat box, guys. If you can hear me properly and if my screen is visible to you, then let me know in the chat box. Not only chat box, have launched poll for this. Okay. Blank with that. Happy evening. Okay, got it. Yeah. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Yeah. You are the co-host now. Okay, guys. So I hope everyone is doing good, right? Everyone is doing good, and my voice is clearly audible to you, as well as my screen is visible to everyone, right? Yeah, got it. Good evening. Okay. Anyway, let us start the class. For today's class, I have not included any questions. कोई भी question मैंने include नहीं किया है. I'm extremely sorry for that. We'll be directly starting with the concept today. Anyway, before starting the new concept, let us recall or let us revise the previous concept, whatever we are already done with in the previous classes. In the previous class, I explained you about population attributes, and in that population attributes, I explained you about what is population. Then what is this one? Birth rate. What is death rate? उसके बारे में मैंने बताया था. Do you remember that? What is birth rate? One second. I don't know why it is not working. One second, guys. Let me erase this. Okay. Now, so I explained you about birth rate in the previous class. Along with that, death rate के बारे में मैंने explain किया. I explained you about death rate also. Along with that, I explained you about sex ratio also. Okay. So these three things. One second. These three things I explained you in the previous class. Many more population attributes are there. That is your birth rate, death rate, sex ratio. After that, one more population attribute is there. That is population or age pyramid. Population or age pyramid is there. Age pyramid is there. This age pyramid can be of three types. This age pyramid can be of three types that I am going to explain you today. That is stabilizing, increasing, and declining. Stabilizing, increasing, and declining. Different three types of age pyramid are there. On the basis of number of population existing in a specific age group, or that is reproductive age group, pre-reproductive age group, or post-reproductive age group. On that basis, we can make three different types of pyramid. Okay, let us talk about those pyramids separately now in a new slide. In a new slide, I'll explain you about that particular pyramid. Okay, let me take a new page, then I'll explain you what is that pyramid actually. Good evening, Nandis. Good evening, everyone. Yeah. Yes. So I was explaining you about age pyramid. Everybody must be aware about what is a pyramid, how a pyramid look like. You might have studied this one in class 10. Class 10 में तुमने पढ़ा होगा पिरामिड क्या होता है. It simply looks like this, right? Triangular लगता है ये pyramids. Triangular लगता है ये pyramids, right? Okay, triangular लगता है pyramid. Now, if you are talking about age pyramid, first of all, we need to classify humans population or human population in different age group. What is the different age group? The different age group is a reproductive group, which are reproductively active. Reproductive group which are reproductively active. Another group that is pre-reproductive group. Pre-reproductive group. And one more group that is post-reproductive group. Three different type of populations or three different age group of individuals are used to exist in any population. That is pre-reproductive population, reproductive population, and post-reproductive population or post-reproductive age group ka population. Post-reproductive age group ka population. Is it clear to all of you? These three groups, ये तीन groups. Okay. What happens now? अभी बात करते हैं pre-reproductive, reproductive, and post-reproductive के बारे में. Pre-reproductive age group include those humans which have which are in the adolescent stage now, or like they are trying to enter into the adolescent stage. They are not capable of reproduction. They are developing that reproductive quality from age group कितना से होगा 0 से 1 से लेकर के almost like 12 और 15 के बीच में होगा. ये reproduction capability इनका नहीं होगा. Pre-reproductive. Then reproductive means 15 और 16 plus से लेकर के 16 plus से लेकर के almost like 55 और 56. Females के केस में 55 में menopause हो जाता है. You might have heard about that menopause. Okay, menopause हो जाएगा. After that they can't reproduce. Their reproductive capability is ceased. Okay, and last one is your post-reproductive thing, that is 56 plus age group wale. Okay, so according to this age group of this a population can have different age group, and according to that we can have three different types of pyramid in population. First, that can be called as your increasing, when the population will be in an increasing order. Population will be in an increasing order, that is increasing pyramid or increasing or inclining population pyramid. In that the pre-reproductive population will be more higher. Why? The pre-reproductive population, they are higher and they will be getting modified or they will be getting mature in further future, and they will have reproductive capability in the future, and they can reproduce in future, right? So their number will be more. This is pre-reproductive. After that, post-reproductive group will be there. This is your post-reproductive reproductive group. And after reproductive group, post-reproductive वाले इनका नंबर कम होगा. Post-reproductive वाले जो होंगे इनका नंबर कम होगा. This is increasing population का pyramid, where the pyramid is showing that pre-reproductive phase में population ज़्यादा है, and as their population or as their number is higher in pre-reproductive phase, in further future they will be entering into reproductive phase and they are going to reproduce and they are going to produce more and more number of individual. That's why population size जो होगा इनके केस में ज़्यादा होगा. In second case, that is your stabilizing, or stabilizing will be talking. In stabilizing, the reproductive and the pre-reproductive population ka size will be same. Stabilizing pyramid as pyramid, stabilizing as pyramid. That will be like this. This is your pre-reproductive wale honge. This will be pre-reproductive. After that, again next this will be the reproductive phase. ये reproductive वालों का होगा. And after that, post-reproductive. This is post-reproductive. No issue in there. ठीक है. So reproductive phase and pre-reproductive phase इनका population same रहेगा. So that now also the number of individuals that are reproduced now, the same number of individual will be reproduced in further future also. because their population is same. Pre-reproductive वाले और reproductive वालों का population same है. It means the number of individuals they are reproducing now will be same to the number of individuals that will be reproduced in the future also. It means future में भी उतना ही population है as it is now. अभी जितना population है उतना ही population रहेगा. That's why it is called as your stabilizing or stabilizing S pyramid. And next one will be the third one, declining pyramid. Third one, that is your declining pyramid. One second. That one is your declining pyramid. Declining pyramid. In this, population growth will be less, or population size or population density will go on decreasing. What happens here? The pre-reproductive phase जो होंगे, pre-reproductive वाले जितने होंगे उनका population कम होगा, reproductive वालों का population जैसा है उतना ही रहेगा, थोड़ा सा ज्यादा रहेगा, and post-reproductive वालों का number will also be in the same number जितना रहता है. Post-reproductive no effect. Post-reproductive का population में कोई effect नहीं है, because they are not going to reproduce in future, but the population quantity or population number or population size always depends upon a reproductive age group of individual and pre-reproductive age group of individual in these two phases. It never depends upon the post-reproductive phase. It always depends upon the pre-reproductive age group of individual and reproductive age group of individual. Reproductive age group of individual, they are continuously reproducing now and they are producing this many number of people. But pre-reproductive individual, if their number is higher, they will reproduce and more number of individual in further future. If their number is similar to the reproductive age group of individual, then they are going to reproduce some number of individual. Now it is produced. अभी जितना होता है उतना ही produce करेंगे उन लोग. And in declining type, you can see if the pre-reproductive age group of individual are lesser in number as compared to the reproductive group, it means abhi reproductive group light went off, guys. I don't know how much time I can run the class. Light chala gaya. I don't know how much time I can run the class. Anyway, so focus on this part once again. Reproductive phase में जितना individual है, they are reproducing now. Suppose this particular 10 individual hai, they are reproducing. In further future, pre-reproductive phase में 7 individual or 6 individuals hai. So this pre-reproductive individual, 6 individual, they will be joining the reproductive phase in near future. It means they cannot meet the number of reproduction that was happening by 10 individual. 10 individual जितना reproduction कर रहे थे, can this 6 individual reproduce this many number of individual? Not exactly. तो ये इतना individual को reproduce नहीं कर सकते future में जाकर के. That's why it is called like your declining population. In near future, the population will be decreasing. Population size will be going down. Okay. No issue, Jagshudha. ठीक है? I hope this increasing population, stabilizing population, and declining population pyramid or S pyramid is clear to everyone. Is it clear to you? If it is clear to all of you, click on yes option. Abhishek, Swati, others, Anuradha, Amit, Ashwini, click on yes option if it is clear to all of you. Arsa from RCB. Okay. Arsa, JNV Mysore. Arsavardhan, JNV Mysore. Click on yes option if it is clear to all of you. Neha, Navod, Pradeep. If you have any doubt, just let me know. Monisha, I'll revise it. No issue. Okay, let me revise this one. Again, I am repeating. In any population, 3 different age group of individuals generally exist. Pre-reproductive age group, reproductive age group, and post-reproductive age group. Okay. Any population will be increasing or decreasing in near future. That always depends upon the pre-reproductive group, and sometimes it depends upon the reproductive age group of individual. These two group indicates that iska size indicate whether the population is going to population size, indicate that whether this population size is going to increase or decrease. Population size iska further future में increase करेगा, decrease करेगा, or it will remain same. That depends upon this age group of individual, pre-reproductive age group of individual and reproductive age group of individual. Why and how? Reproductive age group of individual, they are reproducing continuously now and they are giving some new individual, or they are contributing some individual into the population. But pre-reproductive individual in near future, they are going to enter into the reproductive phase. And if their number is high, then reproductive one, then high number of individual will be produced in near future. Here you can see pre-reproductive वालों का जो number है ये ज़्यादा है. In near future, they will be producing more number of individuals. And that's why it is called as increasing population. Is it clear to all of you? Next will be your stabilizing. Here, pre-reproductive and reproductive दोनों का equal रहेगा. And if it is equal in number, then the number of individual now produced will be same in near future also. Some number of individual will be produced because the population of reproductive and pre-reproductive stages is same. In the third case, reproduction और reproductive phase वाले individuals का number ज़्यादा है as compared to pre-reproductive. It means now reproduction rate is high, but in near future reproduction rate will be less. It means population will also decrease in near future. That's it. So this is increasing, this is stabilizing, and this is your declining. I hope this is clear to all of you, right? I am moving to the next slide now. And in the next slide, we'll be talking about another attribute of the population. Birth rate ho gaya, death rate ho gaya, sex ratio ho gaya, population density. We are going to talk about. Before that, we also did this. Which one? Like, we also did. One second, let me erase this part and then I'll explain it to you. Okay, so let me explain this to you now. Ye 3 number ho gaya. Then fourth is your, I explained you about age pyramid. That is the fourth attributes of population. And fifth one is the population density or population size, I can say. Population density or population size, I can say. Population density or population size. What is a population density or population size? Population density means what is the population density of your area? If I will ask you, Rachita, Brunda, Sri, or Sachin, if I will ask you what is the population density in your area, then how you will count that population density? Density means number, size, or I can say volume or quantity. What will be the population size, population density in your area? That can be calculated by number of individual existing in a population, number of individual existing in a population in a given period of time, in a given period of time, in a given time period, in a specific geographical location or in a specific geographical area. एक एरिया के अंदर एक गिवन टाइम पीरियड में कितना पॉपुलेशन एग्जिस्ट करते हैं, that is called as your population density. Is it clear to all of you? No issue है, no issue, no problem. ठीक है, no issue है, no problem. ठीक है, if you do the survey then you will get to know. ठीक है. Okay, so that is your population density or population size. Got it, guys? Anyway, this population density is called number of individual like that is present in a given time period in a given geographical area will be called as the population size or population density of that area. If I ask you what is the population density of Chikmagalur or what is the population density of Hassan, then what will happen? You have to count the number of individuals existing in that Hassan area within a limited time. Okay, geographical area हमने चूज किया Hassan and Hassan के अंदर हमने टाइम पीरियड दे दिया 1 year में कितना नंबर ऑफ इंडिविजुअल एग्जिस्ट करते हैं, दैट विल बी द पॉपुलेशन डेंसिटी ऑफ Hassan. इज इट क्लियर टू ऑल ऑफ यू? ठीक है, या फिर चामराजनगर ले लो, चिकमंगलुरु ले लो, कोई भी जगह का ले लो, राइट? आफ्टर पॉपुलेशन डेंसिटी we will go to the next population attributes, that is nothing but your population growth. Everybody is aware about population is growing in a very heavy rate nowadays. It is growing exponentially in an uncontrolled manner. So next we'll be talking about population growth. Is it clear to everyone? Population is growing in an exponential or uncontrolled manner. Exponential way में ये grow करता है, exponential. One second, it is growing in an exponential way. Exponential way में ये grow कर रहा है. Why it is growing like that? Because of population growth can be studied under two graphs. That is your logistic graph and second one is your exponential graph. Before that, we must understand this growth of population or increase in size of the population is contributed by 4 different processes. Size of the population or density of the population is contributed by whether the population size or population density is going to increase or going to decrease in further future, is contributed by size of population is or growth of population or size of population or population density is contributed by 4 different processes. 4 different processes. What are those? That is your birth rate, death rate, natality, mortality, which I can say immigration and emigration. Process. We'll be talking about that separately. Population density is number of population or number of individuals that are existing in a given time period in a geographical area. That is population density or population size, I can say. Got it? That can be represented by in the form of dn by dt. उसको dn by dt के हिसाब से represent कर सकते हैं. Anyway, I explained you that is population growth के बारे में मैंने बोला. What is population growth? Population is growing because of higher food availability, predation pressure and weather factor के ऊपर depend करके population size is changing. It may be increasing, it may be decreasing. But this population size is contributed by 4 different processes. That 4 different processes are natality, mortality, immigration and immigration. Immigration and emigration. Right? Got it? This is your natality. Natality ka short formula, short form hai B. B means birth. It is the number of new birth in a population during a given time period is called as natality rate. If new individuals are taking birth in a population, it means they are contributing or they are increasing the population size. It means they are added to the population size. Let me erase all these things, then I'll explain it to you once again. What I mean, natality means birth rate, can be represented in B letter. If the newborn are coming, it means they are adding more number of individuals to the population. More number of individuals are added to the population. Is it clear to all of you? After that, mortality is there. Okay, what is mortality? Mortality is the number of death in a population. That will be natural death. Natural death will be happening. The number of death in a population during a given period is called as your mortality. It means it is I can say it is excluded from the population size, or it is deleting from the population size. That's why I can say it is excluded, means इसको मैं minus कर सकता हूँ, subtract कर सकता हूँ from the population size. It is decreasing the population size, which is represented in B letter. It is decreasing the population size and it is contributing to the population size. Natality is contributing to the population size. Mortality is decreasing the population size. Other things, immigration and emigration. Okay, immigration, I का मतलब होता है inside, अंदर आना. It means it will be adding to the population size. And E मतलब exiting, exit करना. It means it is simply exiting or reducing a population size. Minus कर देगा ये population size को, reduce करेगा population size को. These two things, they will be reducing the population size, and these two things they are adding to the population size. ये add करेगा. These are adding to the population size. Is it clear to all of you? One is reducing, second one is adding. Right? Immigration comes in immigration exit. Yeah, exactly, Nandis. Immigration means come into the habitat. You can see, you can read this particular line here. Have to come into the habitat. It means population के साथ add होगा. That is immigration. Right? Now you can take the live example. Afghanistan people, they are leaving their country. It means they are exiting from the Afghanistan country, or Afghanistan से exit कर रहे हैं उन लोग. It means immigration is happening. Immigration हो रहा है. They are leaving the Afghanistan. They are left the habitat and gone elsewhere. Who left the habitat and gone elsewhere are called like they are. That is called immigration. वो population को reduce कर रहा है. Population size जो है Afghanistan का, that is reducing now because people are emigrating from Afghanistan to other country. Suppose Afghanistan people they came to India now. They entered into India. Afghanistan से कुछ लोग India में आ गए. They are emigrating into India. Okay, some of the Afghanistan people, they leave Afghanistan and they goes to other countries. It means they are leaving Afghanistan. Is it clear to all of you? I hope this is clear to all of you. Okay. Well, so let's move to the next part now. Yeah, next is your whatever I explained you, that is only given here. You can see all these things. What is given here? If you look into that particular thing, now the population density can be represented in an equation. एक equation में population density को represent कर सकते हैं. Suppose consider initially the population was NT. It was NT is the population, initial population or old population. It is the old population density. It is the old population density. Now what happens? Some new individual they born. Some of the individual they died. Some came into the population and some went out of the population by doing immigration. After that, in the new population density, what will happen in the new population density after time period NT plus 1? N means your population density after time T plus 1 will be equivalent to the old population जितना था उतना plus number of new birth plus number of new immigration I minus immigration and minus the death number of individual. That will contribute or that will make a equation like this. I can explain you this one in the next slide only. I have written all those things clearly in the next slide. Okay. Before that, let me explain you whatever I explained you in the previous slide that is given here only. You can see this is immigration. It is adding to the population, natality or birth rate that is adding to the population, death rate that is deleting from the population, and immigration that is also going away from the population. Population size को इन लोग reduce करेंगे. Immigration and mortality will be reducing the population size, and immigration and natality will be increasing the population size. This will be increasing the population size. It will contribute to the population size. Let me explain you all this particular equation in the next slide itself. You can see, as I mentioned here, this is after time T plus 1. Old population was like this only. This is NT is the old population. This is old population. In that old population, what happens? Some of the new individual, newborn baby are like newborn individuals are considered as B or natality. I is the immigration. They are added into the population. Some of the individual they died from this old population. That's why I just removed that D. This is mortality. And immigration को भी मैंने delete कर दिया. Is it clear to all of you? After like simplifying this particular equation, you will get an equation like this: B plus 1 minus B plus I minus D plus I. Right? So NT plus it will be like old population plus birth rate plus immigration minus death rate plus immigration. Okay. So this will be the new population density calculation formula. Is it clear to all of you? This will be the formula for calculation of new population density. I hope it is clear to all of you, right? If it is clear to you, click on yes option. Nandis, Neha, Nabodh, Pramod, Prajwal, Pradeep, Sachin, Sahana, Shanika, Sivraj, Sanjana. Click on yes option if it is clear to you. And if you have any doubt, just let me know in the chat box. I'll explain it to you once again. Okay. Awesome, Sachin. Very good. Well, next we'll be talking about the different growth models. How the population are growing. How all those things, whatever things I explained you, all those things like that natality, mortality, immigration and emigration. Those things are helping in growth of the population. Whether the population is growing or whether the population is decreasing, that depends upon the four process. And now the growth of the population can happen into different way. 1 year, yeah, I got a doubt here. Let me explain that doubt. Then I'll come to this part. Today I'm facing a lot of network issue. Got it, Emma. No issue. If you are facing a lot of network issue, no issue. Just try to manage with that network. If it is not happening, then you can watch the recorded video also. It will be uploaded in the drive. Okay. Don't worry. Anyway, let us talk about this growth model. Population growth model can be of two types, that is your exponential growth model, and second one is your logistic growth model. This growth model is divided into two types because of on the basis of resource availability. On the basis of resource availability, this growth model can be of two types. On the basis of resource availability, once again, on the basis of resource availability, it can be of two types. First one is your whether the resource is unlimited or resource is limited, whether the resource which is available is in unlimited quantity or it is in limited quantity. On that basis, it can be exponential or logistic. If the resource is unlimited, then it will show exponential growth. Population will show exponential growth. If the resource is unlimited, रिसोर्स अगर अनलिमिटेड होगा तो पॉपुलेशन ग्रोथ जो होगा it will show exponential growth. As the resource is unlimited, they don't have to do anything rather than reproduction. Okay, food as well as other things will be unlimited. Resources will be essential for the implementation of the population growth, and if it is unlimited, food, resource and all other things is unlimited, then they will show unlimited growth, or that growth will be called as your exponential growth. They don't have any tension, or they don't have anything in their mind. They don't think about how they will survive or what kind of food they need to survive. They will not think about that. Why? Because they have huge amount of food availability, they have huge amount of resource availability. They only have to do one thing, they have to sit back and they have to reproduce. Okay, and this particular thing happens only in the laboratory condition. In natural environment, this never happens. In nature, resource is always limited, food availability is always limited. This exponential growth only seen in case for experimental condition. Whenever you are conducting some experiment, you try to give mineral nutrients or supplements in huge amount as they are need. According to the need of the experimentation, we provide them huge amount of food or resources. Okay, and that's why exponential growth only seen in case of experimentation. Okay, you can see some experimental growth or exponential growth here. See, day 0, during first day or day 0 में क्या हुआ? Population was 1. Population size कितना था? 1 था. In day 1, it reproduced, and reproduction के बाद 2 individuals were produced. 2 number of individuals they started again reproducing, and they produced 4 number of individuals. Then from 4, 8 individual formed, and then from 8, 16 individual formed, then 32 individual, then 64 individual were formed. These individuals are growing exponentially. In the first case, it was 2 to the power 0. In the second case, it was 2 to the power 1. In the third case, it was 2 to the power 2 to the power 2. Then in day 3, it is 2 to the power 3. In day 4, it is 2 to the power 4. And in day 5, it is 2 to the power 5. And in day 6, it is 2 to the power 6. So in 6th day itself, the population from a single individual becomes 64. एक individual से 64 individual बन गए within 60 days. Within 60. Just think how the population is increasing here. This is your paramecium or something. Yeah, exactly, paramecium. We have provided favorable condition as well as required food amount to this particular medium. Now the paramecium is dividing continuously. Within 1 day, it is dividing once. So 1 day में एक बार divide किया, and in such way we got from 1 individual to 64 individual within 6 days. Right? This growth is called as your exponential growth. I can explain you this one in the next page itself. You can check this particular graph. Let me erase all these things, then I'll explain you once again. Very easy, this is very easy. Exponential growth generally happens in which situation? Again, I am mentioning when the resource availability is unlimited. When the resource is unlimited, that time only. One second. When the resource is unlimited, that time only exponential growth happens and resource will be unlimited during experimentation. experiment में ही ये दिखता है तुमको. It is not seen in the natural habitat. This is not seen in the natural habitat. Natural habitat में, natural condition में it is not seen. Not seen. Is it clear to everyone? This can only be maintained during the experimentation process. What happens in this particular graph? You can see exponential growth will show a graph which will be J-shaped curve. J-shape का वो रहेगा exponential growth का. How it will happen? Just look into this one. Initially, what happened? Population size will be increasing, but it will increase slowly, and that's why it is called as your lag phase. Population जो होगा वो slow increase करेगा. Why it is increasing slowly? Because during the initial time, the population has to cope up with the environmental condition, adapt to the environmental condition. Is it clear to all of you? The population has to adapt to the environmental condition, adapt to environmental condition. Environment के साथ adapt करना पड़ेगा population को. Okay, it need to adapt to the environmental condition. Okay, as it is adapting to the environmental condition, as it is coping up with the environmental condition, at that time, initial time में उसको time लगेगा. It will not continuously reproduce and it will do adaptation. It will develop some new character. Okay, and that's why it reproduces slowly. इनका reproduction जो होगा वो slow होगा. And that's why number of population in the initial time will be increasing gradually, and that's why it is called as your lag phase. इस phase को क्या कहा जाएगा? Lag phase कहा जाएगा. Okay, when they get adapt to the situation, after that their population size will be increasing continuously. Population size within a very less period of time it will increase continuously, and that phase will be called as your acceleration phase, where population will only reproduce. इनका main काम क्या होगा? They will only reproduce because of the availability of huge amount of resource. They don't have any other tension now. They will only reproduce. I can explain you this one by taking the previous example if you want me. Suppose this is your graph. Let me make this graph here. And in this graph, let me extend this line up to here. Okay, one second. Let me extend this particular line up to here. Okay. And consider this one. This is your time period. And on this side, this is the population. इधर अपना population है suppose. And population size, consider this one. 2 individual है. 2 individual से 4 individual हुए. 6 individual. 8 individual, 10 individual, 12, 14, 16, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, 36, 38, and here it will be 40 number of individuals. Suppose consider this one like that. Okay, and the time period will be like, let me consider time period here. Day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, day 6, and day 7. Let us come to the previous experiment now. जो experiment हमने किया था वहां पे आ जाते हैं वापस. If you look into the experiment in first day, मतलब जब zero day पे था, so at that time population was 1. 0 day पे population size 1. Day 1 में population become 2. Day 2 में population become 4. Day 3 में population become 8. And day 4 में population become 16. In day 5 it become 32. And in day 6 it become 64. Is it clear to all of you? Right? Now let us make this one. अभी इसको बनाते हैं. Okay, so let me linear equation in 2 variable वाला ऐसा बना देते हैं, box बना देते हैं, and in that box only I'll write all these things. One second, I'll write all the things. जो भी डाटा चाहिए हमको उसके बारे में मैं लिखूंगा. Okay, so let me write all these things. This is x, this is y. X will be representing, x-axis will be representing the time period, and y-axis will be representing the population size. Okay, this is your day 1. This is your day 1. Next will be I'll come to your doubt. Day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, day 6, day 7. Okay. Y-axis में population will be first day में okay. It will be like 0 से start करते हैं. Okay, in the first zero number of days, they start na युवा. Initial day it was one number of population, then 2, then 4, then 6, then become 8, then 16, then 32, and sorry, day 1 में 2, 4, sorry, one second. Day 3 में 8, then it will be like 16, 32, and next will be 64, and it will be 128 anyway. So if I plot that particular graph here, उसको मैं अगर graph बनाऊंगा, exactly, got it. ठीक है. हाँ. Okay, very good, Emma, very good. Emma is saying that she like maths, he or she, I don't know. Okay, like math in bio. Anyway, so look into this particular part now. So x-axis का value 0 है, y-axis का 1 है. तो इस will be 0 x-axis का y-axis का 1 मतलब इस location पे आएगा. This will be your 0 1. Right? उसके बाद 1 2 इसका 1 उसका 2. Next location. नेक्स्ट 1 2 होने के बाद 2 4 इसका 2 उसका 4. ओके, नेक्स्ट 1 2 2 4, देन 3 8 3 का 8, 4 का 1 सेकेंड, थोड़ा सा मिस्टेक हो गया. इसको अगर ग्राफ बनाओगे अच्छे से तो पता चलेगा. 3 का 8 हो गया, एंड 4 का 16 हो गया. ओके, एंड 5 का 32 हो गया, 5 का 32. Now, if you joint all the points, सारे points को ऐसे joint करा दोगे, so how it will look like? Points को अगर ऐसे draw कर देते हैं, ऐसे सारे points को draw करा देंगे, so it will look like a J structure. अभी देखो, J structure का दिखेगा. Initial 3 days में only 8 number of individual. ये देखो, ये phase जो है ये leg phase है. This particular phase is called as your leg phase. Leg phase इसको कहा गया है. Initial 3 days में population size 8 था, only 8. After 1 or 2 days population size increase करके it become 64. 32 के बाद 64 में आ गया ये, और ये अपना acceleration phase है. This will be the acceleration phase. Is it clear to all of you now? I hope this is clear to all of you, right? I hope this particular thing is clear to all of you, right? Got it, Emma. Got it. Emma. Okay. I'm extremely sorry for that, Emma. Actually, like your name is only Emma, it is showing here. That's why I got confused. Anyway, so I hope this is clear to all of you. If it is clear to you, click on yes option now. Everyone, click on yes option. Sanjana, Sivraj, Sivangi, Sachin, Meghana. If it is clear to you, click on yes option. Yes. Pritam, Prajwal, Pradeep, Navod, मोनिशा, मोल्या, या मोल्या को क्लिक है, ठीक है, मोल्या को क्लियर है, नंदिस को भी क्लियर है. ग्रेट गाइस. हाँ, नंबर ऑफ, हाँ वो भी हो सकता है नंदिस, नंबर ऑफ रिप्रोड्यूसिंग इंडिविजुअल्स का इंक्रीज कर रहे हैं, दैट्स व्हाई आल्सो इट कैन आल्सो बी. ओके, बट मेन रीजन इज दैट नंबर इज इंक्रीजिंग बिकॉज ऑफ द ह्यूज अमाउंट ऑफ फूड अवेलेबिलिटी, दैट्स व्हाई. ओके, हाँ, दैट पर्टिकुलर डाटा इज नाउ रिप्रेजेंटेड here in other form. You can see जो भी डाटा हम लोगों ने वहां पे कलेक्ट किया था, what was that is dn by dt equal to now, okay, it will be is equal to birth rate minus death rate or natality minus mortality into n, right? And here b minus t is equal to this particular thing represent is equal to r, and hence it will be called as your rn. r means your intrinsic rate of natural growth. R का मतलब होता है intrinsic rate of natural growth. here R means intrinsic rate of natural growth. What it means natural growth? Intrinsic rate of natural growth का मतलब क्या? It is indicating the natural growth itself. Means natural birth and natural death को अगर plus minus कर दोगे, then that population size is increasing naturally only. Immigration and emigration are the artificial things, but that natality and mortality are the natural thing. So if you calculate this birth and death or natality minus mortality, then you will get a value called R, and that R is nothing but your intrinsic rate of natural growth. Okay, how much natural growth has happened? We have excluded two things here. Which particular part? That is your immigration and emigration. Is it clear to all of you? That's why it is called as your intrinsic rate of natural growth, right? Okay, dn by dt is equal to Rn. We can also represent like that. Okay, let us move to the next part, and in this part we can talk about the intrinsic rate. Now from this intrinsic rate of natural growth or from the value of R, questions are generally asked. Iska value important hai, value of R is important. If the value of R is more, it means population growth is happening in a higher rate. Or if the value of R is less, then population growth is lower. Is it clear to everyone? Intrinsic rate of natural increase or natural growth का value, R का value अगर more है, it indicate that population size is increasing more. And if R का value less है, it indicates population size is less than R. Is it clear to everyone? Right? ठीक है? हाँ. Yes, exactly. Got it? I'll come to, I will be talking about that one on this. Don't worry. Okay, we'll be talking about that one at the end of the class. No worry. Okay, and this, well, so coming back to this particular part, in the Norway rate, R value is 0.015, floor beetle का rate होगा 0.12, human population 0.0205. Okay. Other one more graph it is here, one more line, that is B line. You might be thinking, what is this particular B line representing? A का तो हमको पता चल गया, that is J substructure dn by dt is equal to Rn, which represent exponential growth. Exponential growth. I also explained to you about one more type of growth model is there, that is called as your logistic growth model. That is called as your logistic growth model. Is it clear to everyone? That is called as your logistic growth model. We'll be talking about that logistic growth model now. Okay. Before that only, this particular thing, whatever I explained you, that particular equation is represented here in this form. Exponential growth happens in resource condition, unlimited resource में होगा, and we know exponential growth को measure किया जाता है dn by dt is equal to Rn के form में, and that can be represented in logarithm form. इसको logarithm form में represent, logarithm equation में represent कर सकते हैं. We can represent this particular equation in logarithm form. When we represent dn by dt is equal to Rn in logs table or logarithm form, it will be nt is equal to n0 e rt. Nt means population density after time t, and n0 means the old population density after time t0 or 0 time, or R means pata hai intrinsic rate of natural growth. Only thing you have to understand, that is E. E means it is the base of natural algorithm, which will be constant always 2.71828. Is it clear to everyone? dn by dt is equal to Rn is represented in logarithm form. That's it. Nothing different. कुछ additional नहीं है. When it is represented in logarithm form, it will be equivalent to nt is equal to n0 ert. Nt means population density after time t, n0 means population density after time 0, and R is your intrinsic rate of natural growth. E is the base of natural logarithm, which is equivalent to 2.71828. We can consider this one as 712 also, 2.72 also, right? Anyway, this is all about exponential growth. Now we'll be talking about second type of growth, that is your logistic growth. Okay, Monisha, I'll explain you about R 1 second, no issue. If you are talking about R, see here, R means intrinsic rate of natural growth. It will be equivalent to natural birth minus natural death. कोई भी population के अंदर the number of new individual, total number of new individual added will be called as your intrinsic rate of natural growth or natural increase. How can we calculate how many number of new individuals are added? How can we calculate that? We can calculate that one by simply subtracting the number of dead body or number of dead individual from the new one individual. New one contribute करेंगे, and or death one they will be like deleting from the particular population size. That's why in here only what we are doing, total birth से, total natality से, total mortality को minus कर देंगे. What we are getting, that is your intrinsic rate of natural growth. Natural, got it? ठीक है? Is it clear to everyone? There will be no SI unit. कोई SI unit इनका नहीं है. ठीक है नंदिस? क्या है, हम लोग नंबर काउंट कर रहे हैं ना. नंबर काउंट कर रहे हैं, मतलब नंबर काउंट करने के लिए वी डोंट नीड एनी SI यूनिट. We are not measuring some quantity, we are just counting the number. ठीक है, this many number. If I ask you how much mark you have got in this particular exam, bio exam में कितना मार्क आया तुम्हारा, then what is the SI unit of that mark? Can you answer me that? Got it, none this. So silly question. Okay, so let's move to the next part, that is your logistic growth. We'll be talking about logistic growth now. Logistic growth के बारे में बात करेंगे अभी. Okay, one second. I hope this is clear to all of you. Exponential growth पूरा सबको clear हो गया. If it is clear to all of you, then click on yes option. Logistic growth अगर सबको clear है, Molya, Nandis and all other people, then click on yes option. Then click on yes option. Okay. Okay. So I am assuming that it is clear to all of you, and I am moving to the next part now. I am going to the logistic growth. Exponential growth हो गया, logistic growth. Logistic growth always happens in the time or in the situation where limited resource will be available. Resource availability will be limited. In that situation only this happens. Hema, you have raised your hand. Okay, Hema, we'll be talking about that one later only. Okay, now we'll focus on this particular class on the topic. We'll be talking about all those things later. Don't worry, Hema. Like, I have never met anyone personally. Okay, I am just seeing your name in this particular in the class itself. Even I have not seen you people also, so I don't know anyone personally. Okay, got it. Anyway, so don't feel sad for that. Okay, Hema, focus on the class now. So coming back to the logistic growth, resource is limited. In that area only logistic growth will be happening. And generally it happens in the natural environment, because in the natural environment, resource availability will always be limited. It will always be limited. Got it? Is it clear to everyone? Right? What happens in logistic growth when the limited resource is there? Organism, they will be fighting for each other. They will be fighting with each other for the same resource only. Same resource will be there, and for same resource, they will be competing with one another. They will be competing with one another. It means competition will be there. And after competition, what happened? The one or the only population that will be surviving, which is more fittest. Competition में जो सबसे ज़्यादा fittest होगा, that will be surviving, and nature will be selecting that particular organism. It means I am coming back to the Darwin natural selection. Nature select करेगा, मतलब अभी मैं वापस किस part में आ गया? I came back to the evolution, and in evolution I told you also about this particular thing. Organism, they will be competing with one another for the same resource, and the fittest one will survive, or the nature will select the most fittest one. And that is called as your natural selection. This is I told you in the Darwin natural selection also. इसको बारे में मैंने Darwin natural selection में भी बताया है. Darwin का natural selection में भी इसके बारे में मैंने बताया है. Is it clear to all of you? I hope this is clear to you, right? Is it clear to all of you? Right? So this is Nandis, I'll come to you now. Don't worry. Well, so same resource के लिए दो competition करेंगे, and the fittest one will survive. Nature will be selecting the fittest one, that is your natural selection. And in this way, this growth will be happening. Why they are fighting for the same fighting for the same resource? Because the resource available here is in limited quantity, is in limited number. That's why they will show some logistic growth. Initially, they will undergo competition, and during that time, competition के time पे, their growth rate will be very much less. Their growth will be lagging. Population का जो growth होगा वो lag करेगा. Why? Because they are fighting, they are competing for the resource. That is what explained here. Okay, that is what explained here. I can explain you all those things here. One second. अभी वो चीज फिर से मैं यहाँ पे तुमको explain कर सकता हूँ. From the beginning. One second, guys. From the beginning, I can explain this one once again. See what happens from the beginning only. ये सारा चीज को मैं हटा देता हूँ. Okay, so we'll start from the beginning. What happens during the logistic growth? What happens? It happens in the natural habitat. It happens in the nature or natural habitat. And in natural habitat, it is common that resource will be limited only. If resource availability is limited, then organism instead of reproducing, what they will do? They will compete for the same resource. Competition hoga for the same resource के लिए competition होगा. And while doing competition, the survival of fittest will be seen, or the fittest one will be surviving, and nature will be selecting the most adaptive character, most fittest character. Nature will be selecting, or natural selection will happen. Natural selection will happen. Is it clear to everyone? So in initial stage, what happened in the initial stage? Let me make that particular graph here once again. In this graph, I can explain you the things. This is your population size, idhar rahega, population idhar, time rahega. In initial stage, what happened? There is competition and survival of fittest is happening. It means during this time, reproduction will be happening, but less number of reproduction will be happening, or in this case, production of new individual जो होगा वो slow होगा, धीरे धीरे होगा. Because this time, what is happening? Competition is happening here. That's why, as the population is increasing gradually, that's why this particular phase is called as your lag phase. इस phase को क्या कहा जाता है? Lag phase कहा जाता है. Why? Because reproduction or population size is lagging here. Reproduction quantity is lagging here. That's why this phase is called as your lag phase. Why it is lag phase? Because population is increasing very slowly, very slowly. Population is increasing slowly. Is it clear to all of you? Right? आया समझ में सबको? Okay. After natural selection होने तक ये रहेगा. And after natural selection, the fittest one will survive. Darwin का natural selection हो गया, and the population which will be surviving. Darwin का natural selection के बाद, whichever organism will be surviving, fittest one will survive, and that fittest one will utilize the resource now. वो क्या करेगा? Will use the resource and it will reproduce continuously. As all the competition is excluded now, कोई भी competition अभी नहीं है. There is no competition. What they will do? If there is no competition, they will undergo reproduction. Now they will reproduce continuously. It means they are reproducing continuously. उन लोग reproduce किया. And if they start reproducing continuously, it means their population will be increasing continuously. All of a sudden इनका जो population होगा वो increase कर जाएगा. It will increase like this. Once again, it will increase like this. ये suddenly increase कर जाएगा ऐसे. Within a very less period of time, it will increase like this. ये ऐसे increase करेगा. One second. Suddenly ये increase करेगा. Is it clear to all of you? Suddenly ये increase करेगा, right? And this particular thing is called as your, ये suddenly increase किया और इसको कहा गया तुम्हारा, as it is increasing suddenly, this phase is called as your acceleration phase. Acceleration phase. One second. It is called as your acceleration phase. Acceleration phase where the population is growing continuously. Population growth जो हो रहा है high rate में हो रहा है. After a certain period or certain time period, what happened? Now the number of population will be more high. Let me make it in green color. Number of population will be more high. Population high हो जाएगा. When the number of population is high, at that time what happened? Population ज़्यादा हो गया. Now what will happen? Again competition will happen, and competition will happen. Again competition will be there. If the population size will get increased in much amount, ज़्यादा हो जाएगा. At that time competition will again start. But this competition will be intra-specific competition. This will be intra-specific competition. Competition happening within the species itself. एक species के अंदर होगा. And if again the competition started, then population का जो increasing rate था वो अभी धीरे धीरे slow हो जाएगा. It will now again go slow. अभी ये slow हो जाएगा. And that phase is called as your deceleration phase. उस phase को क्या कहा जाएगा? Deceleration phase. That is your deceleration phase. Is it clear to everyone? After that, complete resource will be used, and no more individual can reproduce. If number of individual is again reproducing, then population size will be constant. Population size जो हो जाएगा वो आगे constant हो जाएगा. Why? Because of the limited resource. Not much resource is there. रिसोर्स अवेलेबिलिटी इज लिमिटेड हियर, रिसोर्स यहाँ पे लिमिटेड है. As the resource availability is limited, only limited individual can survive here. What I can say, suppose I can say like initially it was having almost like 6 number of individual. It started reproducing and it become 100 number of individual. Okay, then 100 के बाद again it started reproducing and 110 तक हो गए. And after that, this nature don't have much food to feed more than 110 people. 110 people को feed कराने के लिए food available है, more than that के लिए food नहीं है. If the population is more than 110, then in that case food is not available for them. It means only 110 people will survive, rest of the people they will die. बाकी सब people का क्या हो जाएगा, death हो जाएगा. It means the population size will remain कांस्टेंट हियर. इससे आगे पॉपुलेशन साइज इंक्रीज नहीं करेगा. पॉपुलेशन साइज कितना भी टाइम हो जाए, पॉपुलेशन साइज इतना ही रहेगा. पॉपुलेशन साइज जो होगा यहाँ पे कांस्टेंट हो जाएगा इन दिस फेज. एंड दिस पर्टिकुलर फेज इज कॉल्ड एज योर एसिम्प्टोट फेज. एसिम्प्टोट फेज, एसिम्प्टोट फेज where the population will remain constant. पॉपुलेशन जो हो जाएगा वो कांस्टेंट हो जाएगा. इज इट क्लियर टू एवरीवन? And in this particular graph, you can see lag phase, acceleration phase, deceleration phase, and asymptote phase, right? And this graph also show a shape that is called your S shape. S shape का दिखेगा, इसका shape होगा S shape और sigmoid shape, right? So logistic growth always show S shape graph or sigmoid graph. I hope this is clear to all of you. Now it's your doubt part. क्या क्या doubts है मुझे देखना है अभी chat box में. Only fittest one will survive, Amit. Then only fittest one will reproduce. Other they will like they are not fit, means they will be dying gradually. Nandis is having doubt. After the finish of the resource, all will not able to survive. So population become exactly Nandis. Exactly that will happen. After the finishing of the resource or whatever resource availability will be there, limited resource will be there. Within that limited resource, only limited population can exist. Okay. Lag phase means in that phase reproduction rate will be very much race. Reproduction rate will be very much race. उसका rate जो होगा race होगा. हाँ, one more lag phase. Got it? Lag phase. Yes. और किसी का doubt है? Monisha, but there will be competition now. Where competition will be there? Competition will be very much less because of the use availability of resource at that time. That's why Monisha. इस फेज में एक्सेलरेशन फेज में अवेलेबिलिटी ऑफ रिसोर्स विल बी हाई, सो कंपटीशन विल बी वेरी मच लेस और नो कंपटीशन विल बी देयर. गॉट इट? ओके. हाँ, व्हाई इट इज नेम्ड एज लॉजिस्टिक? दैट्स अ गुड क्वेश्चन. लॉजिस्टिक मींस हियर द ग्रोथ इज हैपनिंग इन ए लॉजिस्टिक वे. इट इज नॉट हैपनिंग इन ए सिंपल वे. Sometimes it is decreasing, sometimes it is increasing, and sometimes again it is decreasing, and sometimes it remain constant. That's why. Okay. Okay, Harsha. S shape means you can see this particular graph. This graph is looking like an S. Here ये graph का structure को देखोगे तो it will be looking like an S. That's why ये graph का shape जो होगा S shape graph होगा. Is it clear to you, Harsha? You can understand these things in the next slide also. Next slide में तुमको अच्छे से ये सारा चीज clear हो जाएगा. You can get all these things in the next slide. Okay. Here you can see those things. Whatever I explained you, that is only given here. Okay, and to understand that carrying capacity के बारे में जो मैं बता रहा था वहां पे फिर से यहाँ पे रिपीट कर रहा हूँ. Same thing here happening. Whatever I explained you, this is your lag phase. Here competition will be there, natural selection will be there, no reproduction or less reproduction will be there. That's why population increasing slowly ये increase करेगा. Okay, acceleration phase में population will increase faster. Okay, here reproduction will be higher, reproduction ज्यादा होगा. In deceleration phase again population increase rate will be slower, वो slow हो जाएगा. And asymptote phase में population increase rate will be completely constant, आगे नहीं बढ़ेगा. Why? Because the nature का this particular nature will have some limited resource. Nature के पास limited resource होगा. Nature will have some limited resource. Limited resource will be available in the nature, and due to the less availability or limited availability of the resource, nature can carry or only a limited number of individuals, not more than that. I can take an example, live example. Suppose this is your JNV mess. JNV mess में एक capacity होगा कि it will like feed only a limited individuals, like 700 student को feed करा सकता है, ये 700 student को feed करा सकता है, right? If more number of admissions suddenly happens or suddenly parents visit हुआ school में, or not exactly parents visit, more number of admission happens and it become 1000. ये कितना हो गया? 1000 हो गया now. So what will happen? Adjust होकर के almost like 700 to 800 students they can eat the food that is prepared in the mess. Mess का उतना capacity है, mess has a capacity that it can, it is that many number of like that much amount of resource. By using that resource, it can only feed to 700 to 800 people or 800 students. It is the capacity of the mess. If the number of students is more than or beyond the capacity of the mess, then what will happen? It cannot feed remaining 200 people. Remaining 200 को ये feed नहीं करा पाएगा, and remaining 200 का हमेशा death हो जाएगा. It means हमेशा it only feed 700 to 800 people. It can only feed 700 to 800 people. Same thing is happening here also. Nature has limited resource and it can take care of only limited people or limited population. Limited population का care ये कर सकता है, रख सकता है, right? And that's why that limited population का care करने का, that particular thing is called as your carrying capacity of the particular nature, carrying capacity of the environment or carrying capacity of the population. That is the carrying capacity. इतना individual को वो carry कर सकता है. That can carry this many number of individual. That is the carrying capacity of that nature, and it can be represented in K later. You can see here in this graph, K is the carrying capacity. Beyond this, population will not increase. Population will remain in this, always remain under this carrying capacity. Okay. So this is your logistic growth. Is it clear to everyone? This logistic growth can be represented in an equation. Sorry, one more second. Here you can see the graph. It is looking like an S. S की तरह ये दिख रहा है. That's why I can say ये S-shape structure और sigmoid shape structure ये दिखाता है. S-shape होता है. Logistic growth S-shape का होता है. Graph. Okay. हाँ, that particular thing here. We have K present है अपने पास, and K होने की वजह से, because of the presence of this K, when you count the population density, you have to include Rn के साथ साथ K को भी include करना पड़ेगा. K minus old population divided by again K into Rn will be equivalent to your total population density in that area. Is it clear to everyone? Right? SSF sigmoid say whatever I explained you, that is given here only. dN by dt is equal to Rn in the exponential growth. Exponential growth में ये है अपना. This is in the exponential growth, but in exponential growth there is no use of carrying capacity. K का कोई use नहीं है. But in sigmoid growth model there is use of K capacity और carrying capacity का use है. There is use of K, carrying capacity का use है. That's why we are taking K here. dN by dt is equal to Rn into K minus n divided by K. I hope this is also clear to everyone. I hope logistic growth and your exponential growth is completely clear to all of you. If it is clear to all of you, then click on yes option so that I will move to the next slide now. Anuradha, Ashwini, Bharat, click on yes option if it is clear to all of you. Great. Likit, Kishore, Malikarjun, very good guys. Let me move to the next slide now. And if you have any doubt, you people can ask me. Okay. Crystal clear. Okay, thank you, Amit. Okay, so here is a question for you people. I think question pata chal gaya sabko answer. Anyway, look into the question. Exponential growth occurs when there is. This question is your homework. You have to solve this particular question. Keep this question as your homework. Okay, and send the answer to me. Okay, send the answer to me after the class only, not now. ठीक है, गॉट इट नंदिस, अभी अभी उसके बारे में देखना नहीं। ठीक है नंदिस, गॉट इट। वेल, other things, these things we need not to look into all these things. What is life history and variation, we need not to talk about that. Life history and variation, I have already told you in the evolution chapter how evolution has happened. Exactly Nandis, yeah, how evolution has happened, all those things I have already explained you in the previous chapters. That is where evolution, how different types of organisms are existing in this environmental condition, how evolution has happened, that is only given here. स्मॉल साइज के पॉपुलेशन में और स्मॉल साइज के किड्स में और न्यू बॉर्न बेबी में उनका पॉपुलेशन ज्यादा होता है। व्हाई? बिकॉज देयर इज अ चांस ऑफ गेटिंग ईटन बाय द प्रीडेटर। ओके, एनीवे we'll be talking about rest of the things, that is population interaction, okay, in the next class. population interaction के बारे में बात करेंगे, mutualism, competition, predation, parasitism, commensalism, and all these things we'll be talking about in the next class itself. next class में हम इसके बारे में बात करेंगे। right now I'm launching poll for the teacher NPS poll. go through that poll and after that we can end the class if you don't have any doubt. population interaction is something like in this population interaction we'll be talking about how living organisms are interacting with other living organisms. How living organisms are interacting with other living organisms, we'll be talking about that. living का living के साथ interaction के बारे में बात करेंगे। okay, in population interaction, mutualism where both the individual will get profit, competition both of them will get loss, predation, parasitism, commensalism, amensalism. here we are going to understand a lots of example, we are going to read a lots of example, and examples from this population interaction is quite important. question will be asking from examples only. okay guys, I hope everything is clear to all of you. if you have any doubt then you can ask me in the chat box. if you don't have any doubt then we can end the class, no issue. please show all the formula which you discussed today in the class, revise. K is the carrying capacity, Monisa. in that formula dn by dt is equal to Rn into K minus n divided by K. K means is the carrying capacity of the nature. thank you Sivraj. well, K is the carrying capacity. carrying capacity in the sense nature has some capacity to feed or to take care of the organism, कि कितना number of individuals का care वो कर सकता है, कितना number of individual in that particular nature can survive. that is the carrying capacity of the nature. suppose in a nature, like in a particular natural condition, whatever food availability is there, limited food availability will be there, and in that limited food only 100 number of individual can survive. so what is the carrying capacity of that nature now? carrying capacity of nature is 100 itself. if more than 100 individual will be existing there, then nature will not provide, nature cannot provide food to them, food provide nahi kar payega nature unko. okay, and they will be dying. okay, Hema and other people, okay, thank you. I think you got it, Monisha. Hema and other people जो additional बातें कर रहे थे अभी आ सकते हैं, बात कर सकते हैं, no issue. we can talk about all those things. कुछ पूछ रहे थे तुम हेमा, you were asking something हेमा. हाँ Nandis, that will happen, like online classes will be happening even after reopening of your school also. ठीक है Nandis, स्कूल रीओपन हो जाएगा, उसके बावजूद भी ऑनलाइन क्लासेस विल बी हैपनिंग, डोंट वरी अबाउट दैट, कंटिन्यूअसली ऑनलाइन क्लासेस विल बी हैपनिंग. ओके guys, do you have any other doubts? if you have any other doubts, please ask. if you don't have, then we can end the class. thank you everyone. I think you don't have any doubt, right? yeah, thank you Nandis. okay, thank you Pradeep. okay, all the best for the test tomorrow. कल के टेस्ट के लिए all the best सबको. I want every one of you to like attend that test. मोलिया, thank you मोलिया. okay, so कल का जो टेस्ट होगा सबको अटेंड करेगा, ठीक है? all the best for the test tomorrow. bye bye, we'll meet again on Monday. thank you guys. Thank you, Bharat. Thank you, Gautami. Thank you, Nandis. Thank you, Mulya. Yeah. Okay. Bye bye. Bye bye, guys. Bye bye. Welcome. Welcome. Oh, got it, Nandis. For you, no school opening, right? Got it. Got it. No problem.